everyone, Frank Menard here from the Menard Team Coaching and Training. I just wanted to come to you this week with a video that I feel has been really impactful in my life. I want to talk to you today about 4 triangles. So for those of you who are in sales, you're entrepreneurs, you're in any type of business, this is going to apply to you, especially to you. It applies to everyone in regards to building relationships and just being a good person. But these 4 triangles have really impacted my life because pretty much since the time I was 14 years old, I was involved in some type of sales. I've sold insurance, I've sold automobiles, I've sold real estate. I now currently sell coaching and training services. So I've been involved in connecting and relating to the community for quite some time. So these triangles all came to me at different stages of my life and have helped me build a successful business in any one of the stages that I was in. So first and foremost, we're going to go all the way back to my selling days as a Marine recruiter. So the first triangle I want to share with you is the sales triangle. The sales triangle consists of product, sales, and market knowledge. So product knowledge is at the peak of the triangle. You can't sell a product unless you know the product intimately. You really need to know that product well. So don't shoot from the hip. Learn everything you can about the product that you're selling so that you can share the benefits of owning that product with your potential clients. Sales knowledge, I like to say it's more communications knowledge. You know, a lot of people have this bad conception of what selling is all about. For me, selling is serving. So if I have a product or a service that I can provide that's going to help somebody, maybe make their life easier, help them be healthier, be able to transport across the country faster. If I can do those things, then I'm serving, not selling. I'm just providing them with the product that's going to help them get what they want. So your communication skills, both trying to find the client, communicating with the client, being able to tell the story about what the product or service is going to do for them. Those types of things are really, really important. Don't get confused when I talk about communications and techniques and strategies. You know, when I first came into sales, there was a lot of manipulation going on to try to get people to do what it is you want them to do. You know, one that kind of stands in mind, you know, I really love this car, but I don't like the color black. Well, what color would you like it? Well, I'd like it in blue. Well, if I could get it for you in blue, would you buy it today? Now, that's a strategy and a technique that kind of manipulates a person to commit to something. So although those may have come in handy back in the day, I think we're much more mature in our society now in the game of sales and service. So being able to communicate authentically from the heart to serve other people. Serving is the most important aspect. So triangle number 1, product knowledge, sales knowledge. Last one, market knowledge. Who are you going to serve? So being able to focus on a specific market helps you become a better servant leader, being a better sales representative, being a better business partner, because you're focused on helping and serving a smaller pond, so to speak, right? So you can get to know the client, the potential client, a little bit more intimately and serve them at the very highest level. Now, our product may appeal to mass population, but in reality, guys, you know, we can't serve everybody. We can't help everybody. So focus in your community, maybe a certain specific area. So for an example, as a coach, I've had to kind of figure out, okay, who do I want to serve? You know, so I focused on 3 different markets for my services. Number 1 is helping veterans. 22-year veteran myself, I feel an obligation to continue to serve and help my fellow veterans, primarily those that are transitioning from the military back in the civilian community, to help them through that transition. So that's one of the markets. I'm going to coach them through that transition. Second market, I have an affinity for teenagers. I love teenagers. I spent a lot of time as a recruiter, so I really communicate well with teenagers. And I know that teenagers, especially between the ages of 13 and 18, need some help and guidance from maybe someone outside of their intimate family to coach them along and help them learn some skills that will be valuable to them later on. So I'm going to focus on veterans. I'm going to focus on teenagers. I'm also going to focus on realtors and lenders. I spent 22 years in lending, or excuse me, in real estate. So I dealt a lot with lenders, and of course, my community of real estate agents is pretty big. I know a lot of real estate agents in the business, and so when the market changes, I can certainly help them adjust their plans on how they're going to be able to survive through anything that happens in the real estate market. Having survived the worst real estate market crash in history back in 2006 through 2008, I know what can happen, and I know how to get through it, because I did. Not only did I get through it, but I actually was pretty successful going through that whole process, thanks to another coach I'm going to introduce you to in just a minute. So the triangle is product, sales, market. So know who it is you want to serve, and know your product really, really well, and be able to communicate that message. The next triangle, I always going to give credit where credit is due. And the next triangle comes from a gentleman who I met when I became engaged with Business Networking International, so BNI. Ivan Meisner created a triangle which really helped me understand how to get more business. And he calls that triangle the VCP triangle: visibility, credibility, profitability. So the theory is people need to know you, they need to see you to understand who you are and what you can do for them. So I always tell, especially real estate agents that I coach, hey, look, you're not going to get a whole lot of business sitting behind that computer screen. You need to get out there, shake some hands, kiss some babies, show people what it is that you do for a living. You need to be out there meeting people, because in order to be successful in any type of business or sales, you need to know a lot of people. Good news is there's a lot of people to know, right? So be visible. How are you getting out there? How are you getting your message out? Are you doing presentations to large groups of people so they can get to know you a little bit better? Are you spending some time one-on-one with people so that they can get to know you even deeper and build a deeper relationship? You also have to serve them at the highest possible level, because that's how you gain credibility. So the top of the triangle is visibility, left-hand corner is credibility, and you don't get credible until you've done a really, really good job, and people start to recognize your reputation for doing that good job. When they do that, you're credible in their mind, and therefore they will refer you to other people who need your services. They'll also use you multiple times as they need your services. So visibility, credibility, and I think it's just obvious, if you've got those two things going for you, your profits will go through the roof, because you're just doing the best job you possibly can, and you're letting a lot of people know that you're the pro, because that's what pros do. They serve at the highest level. The next triangle I learned during that real estate market crash that I talked about from my coach in those days, Mr. Brian Buffini. He is the chief executive officer of Buffini and Company. So Brian, real estate agent himself, actually shared with me that the best way to get more referrals in your business is to follow the 3 C's triangle. So the 3 C's: contact, stay in contact with your clients all through the year, letting them know who you are, serve them at the highest level, not just with your products, but just be there, sending them happy birthday cards, making a phone call every now and then just to check in. I call it a check-in call or a care call. How are things going? How's the family doing? So you get to know them intimately after they've already used your services. So you want to stay front of mind in case they need your services again, or perhaps they know somebody that could use your services. So staying in contact, showing them that you care, becoming relational. I'm good friends with most of the folks that I served in many different levels, all the way back to my recruiting days, also in automotive sales. If I look at my database, I have friends in my community that I met as far back as the mid-1970s. So regardless of what I did, I always tried to maintain that contact and show them that I care. I'm here to help. If they need something, they give me a call. Building that community. So really, that community is my sphere of influence, my database, your CRM, if that's what you want to call it. But it's more than just a list of names and people to market to. These are actual relationships. I know folks that think that in order to be successful, you have to have a CRM with thousands of names in it. No, that's called a mailing list. We don't want a mailing list. We want relationships. So people that we could pick up the phone and call and talk to them anytime without trying to sell them anything. Just being a good person. Build that community. So the last triangle is not really a triangle, it's a pyramid. A gentleman by the name of Michael Mayer wrote a book several years ago, 7 Levels of Communications. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the levels of communications from the least effective all the way up to the most impactful, right? So first and foremost, general advertising. You're just putting it out there to the masses. Maybe it's a billboard sign, maybe it's a web page. It's just something that you're really not targeting anybody in particular. It's just mass marketing. Just they're not going to contact you unless they really, really need you. Maybe because they drove by your billboard sign doing 85 miles an hour on Interstate 95, right? Who knows? But it works. It gets you attention. Does get you some visibility. Direct mail campaigns, really popular in the real estate industry, probably in the insurance industry as well. Doing some direct mail, getting people a specific target market, you're just sending stuff out. But oftentimes when that stuff comes in the mail, it goes from the mailbox to the trash barrel without anybody really taking a look at it. So really not that effective. I think even the Postal Service says maybe 1.5% of the people will even look at it. So that might work for you. Electronic communication, really popular now. Text messages, emails, constant contact. I mean, here we go. We're going to stay in touch with people by blasting them with emails. It's not really personal, so it's not really effective. It gets your message out, but it's not relational. Now we get into some of the more powerful techniques. Handwritten personal notes. Who does that anymore? Now, I know there are companies out there that will write the note for you and send it out for you. And they're pretty popular. I've seen them used by a lot of different people. But it's that personal touch. A handwritten personal note sends the message, hey, I care about you so much that I took time to write a real note in my handwriting to say thank you or to let you know I was thinking about you. Very, very personal. As we're going up that pyramid, the closer to the top we get, the more impactful our communications become. Phone calls. Real easy to make phone calls nowadays, just to check in. So when I talk about phone calls in business and or sales, everybody kind of thinks that I'm talking about making cold calls. Cold calls isn't the way to go. It works for some people. Just scratch my eyeballs out. I don't want to make cold calls. I'm happy to make a check-in call with a friend, past client, family member, just to check in, see how they're doing. And if it comes up in the conversation that somebody could use my product or service, okay, I'll bring it up. There's nothing wrong with that. It's my obligation because I'm here to serve, right? So make some phone calls. Touch Marbell's old commercial. Reach out and touch someone. Let's talk about events and seminars. Events and seminars can be useful to a target market to share a specific knowledge or a specific product that can help in a challenging situation. I remember during that real estate market crash that I talked about, myself and a few of my colleagues, we actually did buyer seminars. I did seller seminars to attract people to learn how we differentiated ourselves in our service to our clients. That can work. You're in person. We usually did small groups, not big stadium-sized groups, but small groups so that we could actually communicate with them in person, one-on-one, when the event was over. Right? So events and seminars could be a good way to get that done. But the number one best way to get things done is to really build a relationship in a one-to-one meeting. So the top of the pyramid, the top of that triangle is all about one-to-one. So having a business meeting one-to-one, maybe over coffee, have a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, a beer. I mean, it doesn't have to be really, really fancy, but you're spending quality time one-on-one with people who are important to you. So 7 levels of communication. So here's what I'm going to recommend. Any book that you can read to better your knowledge in your product, to identify better communication skills. John Maxwell has a great book out there. I think it's the 16 Invaluable Laws of Communication, something along those lines. Get those books, read them, and learn how to be better at serving people with your communications. VCP Triangle, Networking Like a Pro is a great book by Ivan Misner that would really be helpful to you. It's really technical, but it's got a lot of great ideas in there on how to build good relationships and get more referrals. Working by Referral by Brian Buffini will talk to you about the 3 C's and several other different ways that you can build up your community so that you can get more business by referral from your current clients and your past clients. And of course, 7 levels of communications from Michael Mayer. So look, folks, this video is a little bit longer than most of my videos. I think we're coming up on about 15 minutes. I just want to let you know that you and your business, your sales opportunities, all depend on your ability to build relationships. So focus on the person, strengthen the relationships, and I guarantee you your business will grow. I hope this video was beneficial to you. If you know of somebody that could use this message, please do share it. I hope that you've subscribed by now, but if you haven't, please subscribe so you get all my future videos. And I hope you all have a great day. It's a beautiful day in Florida today, but I think it's probably about 100 degrees out there. So I'm going to stay inside in the air conditioning. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon.